think that's probably why I'm single too, but I at least own it. You know, like I'm pretty aggressive, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, poor me, why am I single, right? Like I decided to prioritize my career throughout my 20s, and I didn't go out, and you know, I'm not on dating apps, I'm not on Instagram, and I probably have like a very masculine energy with the work that I do and the profession that I'm in, and I don't expect men who are surrounded by women on OnlyFans and Instagram all day that are just sitting around doing nothing but having their sugar daddies pay for their salon appointments while they, you know, go on vacations and crop their man out. Like that's going to come across as maybe like more feminine.
No, right.
Because I used to think, right? Like I used to think that, and this is something I'll thank men for, right? I used to think to myself, oh, well, you know, guys are really going to care about your accomplishments. And as long as I'm like accomplished, a guy's going to have more respect for me than the hoe, right? Like how could he respect this hoe when he's not going to respect me? But at the end of the day, like if a guy's going to cheat on you, he's going to cheat on you. And you having like a valedictorian position on, like I was valedictorian, I had a 4.0 GPA, like I have a lot of accomplishments, I have my shit together, but it still doesn't mean that you're not going to get cheated on. Like if somebody wants to go cheat, they're going to go cheat, right? And they, like people cheat because
we'll cheat with the girl with the 1.0 GPA.
Yeah, because maybe they have more feminine energy. I don't know why people cheat. People cheat for different reasons, but I do think that like we like to convince ourselves that that's normal, and I've been guilty of it too, but I don't think that that's really how like men and women are supposed to operate, right? We've convinced ourselves because we're living in an era now where women are working, where in the past, right, like people used to be married for longer periods of time. Now you're lucky if you stay married for 5 years before you get a divorce. Yeah. And people are not necessarily like in monogamous relationships anymore. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there's been like this warped mentality of gender roles. And you're like, people would say, oh, you're a hypocrite, right? Like you say you're married to the game, Laura. You say that, you're always working, you're too busy. But yeah, like I'll be lucky as a 30-year-old woman who's going to turn 31 in May. I will be lucky if I ever get a husband. And that's just reality. Like I will be lucky if
I've accepted it.
Like I will be lucky if I ever have a child, right? Because like ideally you would want to. That takes
lots to admit. Most girls would never admit that.
I would want to date somebody for at least like 2 years before I get married. So I'm 31 in May, right? Okay. 32, 33. Then it takes like a year to plan a wedding. You're not going to really like get pregnant and have a baby unless you're married and in a committed relationship. And so then I'll be 36 and then that's considered a geriatric pregnancy. I never froze my eggs. And, you know, I could adopt, right? And some people will say like, oh, well, you'll be like more sad about not having a kid, but I've accepted it. And I know that I could I used to tell myself like, oh, how could he cheat? Like, I don't understand. Like, I was so good to him. I paid for shit. I was so nice. I was so loyal. And then it doesn't mean anything. Like, guys don't care about your accomplishments. And this was something that was like really hard for me to accept because I used to be that girl that thought, oh, well, I'm like better than all these other girls because I'm not a hoe and I'm smart and, you know, I'm accomplished. They don't give a fuck. They really don't give a fuck.